Welcome to Overtime Heroics. I'm Mason Shatwell, and joining me today is the promoter, owner of Cage Steel, Dominic Gibbs. How are you doing, mate?
I'm good. Yourself?
I'm doing very well. Like I was saying off camera, I appreciate your time. Obviously, we're 2 weeks out today from the event, and obviously you're going to be very busy, so appreciate you taking the time to sit and speak with us.
No problem. It's my pleasure to come on. All these people that are doing this kind of work, it's great for the community. So, my pleasure.
100%. With everything going on at the minute, obviously, Cage Steel haven't had an event in a while due to the pandemic. How does it feel knowing you've got the event booked and all the fighters ready and you're raring to go?
It's exciting again. March the 14th was our last show. We've gone on. I'm a annoyingly positive person, so I've always thought that I believed the government when they said 3 weeks to flatten the curve. Here we are 12 months later. So, it's great to be kind of doing what we always want to do.
No doubt. You've got some top guys on the card. You've got Scott Malone, Elliot Hoy, and there's some other people lower down on the card. You've got the legend Sean Lomas, and even in the amateur, you've got guys like Stafford Swainston and Ibrahimov. How does it feel knowing that your events are attracting these caliber of fighters?
As a promotion, it's great to attract people. We obviously want to push out there as a brand that are known for looking after fighters and therefore attract the fighters to come on the show. We're not done yet. There's a long way for us to go. We're kind of, I still see us as being kind of new in terms of what we're doing and where my business plans are and what we want to do for the show.
Yeah, definitely. How did you get involved with Cage Steel in the beginning?
Well, it's a long kind of story about, my dad was a Royal Artillery soldier and we lived all around the world. And eventually, when he left the forces and stuff, I ended up settling in Doncaster. I met a guy called Danny Mitchell, who's fought in the UFC. Me and Danny were teaching a local gym, and we decided to set up on our own. So we set up our own MMA gym back in 2005. It was really early for UK MMA. And we always set about promoting a show. We kind of had to split the gym up, and in the meantime, I left my corporate job, so I was operations manager at Doncaster Council. I left to go and I didn't even know what I wanted to do. I set up a company, a facilities management company. I was doing really well. I bumped into Danny. I'm like, mate, why don't we do the show? I've got a company now. Let's do it. And December 2011, Cage Steel was born. That was it. So, yeah.
Where does your passion for MMA begin?
I've had a passion for martial art. I'm a martial artist, So as a young boy, I was brought up watching Bruce Lee, Enter the Dragon, and things like. It was like martial arts has been a passion. Like 6-year-old, I started doing judo, and I've done 10 different martial arts throughout my life because we moved all over the world, living in places like Germany, Ireland, Singapore, Cyprus. So it was always a different martial art and different army bases, depending on who would teach the army brats, as we were known. So my passion for mixed martial arts is just because I'm a martial artist, and I absolutely love every single martial art. I know you get these kind of martial arts that kind of argue, oh, we're better than them, and I just look at, because Bruce Lee's philosophy was, take everything that's good and leave everything that's no good, and that's for every single martial artist. That is different. So I'm 6'4". I'll say I teach Muay Thai. I teach my class. I say, listen, I'll teach you the spinning stuff, but I don't do this spinning crap because my legs are that long. I'm like a helicopter. So I don't do it. But I still love the guys that do it, and I just love martial arts. Martial arts have given me a great life. It's taught me the person that I am, the respect, the discipline. So yeah, although you're asking predominantly about mixed martial arts, it's just because I'm a martial artist.
100%. With you talking about now your passion for MMA and that, we'll go back to Cage Steel itself. What struggles have you faced over the past year with the promotion?
Past year, we haven't done anything that, we haven't done a show which we've been set out to do, and there's been no kind of government support in effect. So we've lost a lot of money off our books. I've kept the staff. and made sure that the staff are there, and the staff have worked hard through tough times, because that obviously brings fear and things like that. And we've tried to keep things going. So we've started different things. We started a Patreon, and it didn't kind of work. People didn't buy into it, but we'd done the hard work, and we started Cage Steel Martial Arts, teaching martial arts in schools. So it's free to the schools. That was a project that I've always wanted to do and never had the time. The pandemic gave us the time. We've done a kickboxing online, which allows people to get fit and get a reward. It identified that there are some people that even after the pandemic will never ever walk through a martial arts gym. So why do they have to be excluded? So we've done a kind of online session. So we've done things and kept us busy. And I've worked on like the 5-year business plans, the goal setting, the team goals. I've done so much work, and I've had to keep busy because I'm one of these that I like to be busy.
Yeah.
And if I'd have just, I see a lot of promotions have just gone, oh, well, we're not doing anything. We'll just park our marketing and just not do anything. And I knew that we had to put stuff out there to entertain, because people were struggling and people didn't have a lot to do. So for me, it was like we had to create content. We was kind of obliged. And if I didn't keep busy, then that'd send me crazy. So yeah.
What struggles have you faced setting this event up?
Mate, so many box tickers within kind of the authorities. Ridiculous box ticking. And sometimes I've kind of thrown my teddy out the pram, when it's got too much, because we've got to put all the testing in. We've got to have a COVID officer. We've got to have a health and safety officer. We've got to have a site manager, a site supervisor. I think I threw my teddy out the pram when they said you need high-vis vests, and I said, well, we're not doing any traffic marshalling. It's not outside. I'm IOSH and NEBOSH trained, so I'm a health and safety by rights. I'm a health and safety, which so I'm like, well, there's no traffic management, and they're like, oh, it's to identify your COVID marshals, and I'm like, well, I don't have any marshals identifying cancer or flu or and I proper kicked off. I'm like, we're doing like everything for COVID, and I've actually said to them, how come none of you have asked all the medical details of my doctor and my medics? Because I'm one of these that my doctors and my medics have to be trained. They have to be able to intubate. Yeah. For me, the safety of the fighters is paramount. And not once have they asked me about the safety of the fighters when they're in the cage. It's everything to do with COVID. And I proper kicked off about it. And I'm just like, just ask yourself. Just think about the boxes that you're ticking. So yeah, it's really difficult to kind of get the sign-offs from all the relevant departments, because this isn't a hide away in a warehouse and hope no one discovers us. This is we have gone out there and gone to the councils, gone to the police, and said, look, this is what we want to do. This is how we're going to do it. The event plans are massive. It's taken days and days of work to write event plans and have everything in place so that they can come down and inspect, and we know that we'll be okay.
Well, the main event of Cage Steel 25 is Scott Malone and Elliot Hoy. I've spoke to Scott this week, and he just seems raring to go. What do you make of this main event?
A cracking main event, absolutely cracking. Scott's a great guy. I obviously know Scott through previous fights. Yeah. Elliot, I've watched Elliot's stuff, and Elliot's a great fighter, and it makes it more interesting. So they're 7-4 and 7-2, I believe, top of my head. And then Scott dropping down a weight, so his first time at the lower weight. Everything there is in the mix to create an incredible spectacle and a great fight. So for me, it had to be the main event.
Well, on the card, you've got Scott, who's obviously challenged for Cage Warriors titles before, and there's a couple other people that have been on the Cage Warriors ranks. Do you see Scott getting back in there soon?
I believe Scott could get to the top of the field, in one of the major organizations. And I obviously class Cage Warriors as a major organization as well, but I'm thinking that he could go even beyond that. I know he's 33 now, and he's kind of saying time's not on his side. But I think if he gets a few good wins under his belt, I think he should get into one of these big organisations.
100%. Obviously, Louis Lee Scott as well. He's also on the card. He's become somewhat of a poster boy for cage steel now, and he usually gets quite a crowd with him. Do you believe no fans in the arena are going to affect his performance?
It'll be interesting to see. I think Louis is professional enough to not let him. I know, from seeing the kid come from Muay Thai fighting to actually seeing him like early days in the MMA, and I actually said to one of his coaches, "Who's this kid?" Because everything they were showing him, he was like a sponge. He was just soaking it up and just literally replaying it. So he's got the skills. He's got the Thai background. Like you say, he's a bit of a poster boy. All the girls are going to love him. He thinks he's got great abs, but they're questionable. That's just to wind him up. That he'll have his spray tan on, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, the kid's got talent. He's got marketability. He's a nice lad from a great family. I obviously speak to his mum and dad and things like that. He's got a great family around him. He's at an amazing gym. He's got some great guys around him. So, Louis is definitely, and I've said it for a lot of years, definitely one to watch.
How far do you think he can go in this sport?
Louis?
Yeah.
As far as he wants to go. That's the thing. Louis has everything, the potential to go as far as he wants. But he's got to want it. He's got to not drift away. Because I've seen it before where young fighters get other things in their life, and that might be, social things, drink or the opposite sex.
Yes.
So he's got to, I'm pretty sure he's going to be grounded. I'm pretty sure his family, his coaches and his teammates are going to keep him grounded and keep him where he needs to be. I think he knows he's got the potential to go all the way.
Yeah, I got no doubt in that myself. We spoke about Scott Malone, and obviously there's some other guys from the Cage Warriors scene like Alan Brakowski. How did you go about acquiring them two?
Easiest card to match in the whole history of MMA, I bet. As soon as we kind of put so Scott, what happened was Scott actually put a status out there saying, "I want to fight," and all this, and I actually commented on it, saying, "Listen, mate, give me your details. I'll give you a call. I'll chat about what I'm thinking." So I kind of put that, and then other people started sending me messages of screenshots with like eyes, like watching this. And then I kind of put a status out there saying, if I did a pay-per-view show, would everyone support it? Because at the end of the day, it is a big risk.
Yeah.
And there was so much feedback, it was incredible. So I got Danny, our matchmaker, to put out a status saying, we're looking for fighters. And I'm not kidding, there was 100+ fighters within 24 hours, and the card was matched. 92% of that card was matched overnight. Danny did it all overnight. So yeah, just so many fighters. They want to fight. They've been out for a year. It's shocking. So yeah, easy.
Well, we keep mentioning Cage Warriors because some of the guys have been on that scene. Do you believe over time Cage Steel can rise to the level of Cage Warriors?
I'm very, very competitive. So as a young brat, I can remember losing it. I don't know, chess and drafts or something, and proper kicking off and crying. And my sister said to me, "You need to learn to be a good loser." And my dad said, "Don't ever learn to be a good loser. Anyone who's a good loser is a loser, so don't do it." So I'm always in it to be the best. Let me tell you, Cage Warriors are doing a great job. Absolutely great. The guys there, from my point of view, and obviously I don't see everything inside. I don't see it from a fighter's point of view or anything, but they appear to be doing everything that they should. So I've just got ultimate respect for them and the other organisations that are higher than us. The Bellators, the UFCs. So we'll try and copy some stuff that they do well, and we'll also do things of our own merit, like the extra weight classes that we brought in. So, yeah, I want to chase the guys down. I want it to be a community, though. I don't look at it as competition. I look at it as to kind of grow. The more people that are exposed to MMA, it's the fastest growing sport in the world. There's 550 million fans across the world. So, there's a big enough cake for all of us.
You mentioned at the beginning you've been annoyingly positive during this whole time. How do you keep so positive? And have you ever thought about just giving up during this pandemic?
Yeah, I mean, I am annoyingly positive. That's kind of a kind of life thing. So I'm always positive. I'll always look for the positives in any situation. Don't get me wrong, there have been days when I have struggled with this pandemic. I am a very social person, so taking social interaction away from me has been very difficult. Not going to gyms, not doing the kind of stuff that I love, not teaching, not being there, not getting in a physical class, doing it on Zoom. Although I'm coping, it's helping me. I've got fit through doing it. It's not the same as being in a physical class, and there have been days when I have really struggled. I've had to go for a walk in like the Peak Districts and things, and then get reported to the police. So someone rang the police on me. So that's crazy. But it's been really tough, and like you say, there have been times when I've looked at it and gone, I don't know if we'll survive, because this is just, it's hemorrhaging cash. Every month there's bills to pay, there's staff wages, there's rent of offices, there's all this stuff to pay out. The cage has to be stored somewhere. The staff have to work from somewhere. Are we going to carry on? But I'll be saying honestly, this is no crap. This is honest truth. There's not a doubt in my mind where I ever thought, yeah, I'm seriously thinking about packing in. This is a passion for me. I absolutely love what I do. I am blessed. My job lets me do something that I love every day, and I work ridiculous hours. But it's not. People say to me, "You need to work less." And I'm like, I don't work. My hobby is my job. I made my hobby my job. I never work a day in my life. Look at me now. I'm sat here talking to you, Mason, someone who's massively interested in MMA, doing something that's great for the community of MMA, building it all. And I'm sat here. I love MMA. I love talking. What's not to love? This is my job. This is work. Seriously, yeah. I'm blessed.
No doubt. What's next for Cage Steel? Do you see yourself doing another pay-per-view in the future, or do you think you might wait till summertime till fans may be allowed back?
I think we've just got to keep an eye on what actually happens. It's very difficult at the minute to kind of second guess the government. You've kind of got your massive conspiracy theorists on one side saying we're going to get locked down again. You've got the government on one who throughout this, I don't think they've told the truth ever. So, and you're trying to balance between what is actually truth, what is going to happen. So I think we've just got to keep a kind of strong eye on what will happen in future, and kind of make decisions as we go along. So I'm sorry, but I can't give you a politician's answer, to be fair. I can't really commit. I'll just keep an eye on it. And if we have to do a pay-per-view because the crowd just stopped, then we'll do another pay-per-view. Hopefully it goes well. But we need to keep fighters fighting. We need to keep the UK MMA scene growing. Otherwise, these fighters are not going to go on to the big organisations. Someone like Louis Lee Scott, Adam Bramall, Scott Malone, they'll get stopped, they'll get stifled in their career, and they won't go on to these big organisations. And then they'll suffer in the long run.
100%, no doubt. Obviously, like you say, we need to keep the guys active, keep fighting. Out of the whole card, top to bottom, which fight are you most looking forward to?
I have to say the main event. Otherwise, why would I have picked it as a main event? But as I keep saying on these interviews, I've gone through that card, and every time I kind of talk about a fight, that's a great fight. Oh, that's a great fight. That's a great fight. There's literally so many great fights on this card. The kind of main card is just stacked. I can't wait. So yeah, I can't give you the main event's got to be the one that I pick because it's the main event. But you said yourself, look at the fights on the card.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, where can everyone buy the pay-per-view?
So they can go on the link. If they know one of the fighters, go to the fighters, because this show is about supporting fighters. This show isn't about us making money. It's about, yeah, we want to do what we want to do, and we want to cover the costs. I don't want to lose money. I've lost enough of that over a year, so we want to cover the costs. But it's about supporting fighters. So if you know a fighter, go to their socials, click on their link, and they'll get a commission for selling that. If you don't know any fighter, then go to cage-steel.co.uk, click on the pay-per-view link, and support us.
And finally, is there any shout outs or anything you want to sign off with at all?
Just to say thank you to all the fighters that have come forward. Thank you to all the fans, especially those that have bought early, and they're kind of contributing to my heart rates going down a little bit. And thank you to anyone who's kind of doing the job that you're doing, Mason. I called someone a journalist the other day, and they didn't kind of take to it now. But the kind of MMA journalism that people are doing to push the show. We've never had so many people talking about us. I absolutely love the feedback, and I love that people, are kind of buying into the brand, because that's what it's all about. So yeah, just the MMA community, the fans, the fighters, and the journalists, massive respect and thanks to everyone.
Well, I've spoke to two fighters already from Cage Steel, Sean Lomas and Scott Malone. They're raring to go, and I've got a few more to speak to. And everyone, no doubt this is going to be a great show. Amateur and professional local MMA is back, so make sure you get at the fighters link, or like Dom said, go to the website. But cheers for joining us, Dom. I know you're going to be very busy, so I appreciate your time, and best of luck with the event.
Thank you very much. Thanks for taking the time, Mason.
Thank you, man.